We have looked at, what have we looked at? Top performers. We've looked at CVs. We've looked at self-esteem, imposter syndrome. What we are going to look at next is the transition, the emotional transition of going back to work. So I would like to invite Priyanka, excuse me, to speak about this. And I'd like to say a few brief words about Priyanka before we do. So Priyanka is the founder and CEO of Sound Healing India. In her role as a sound practitioner, her overarching aim is to foster equilibrium and serenity for those she works with. She views healing as a personal journey and offers a comprehensive set of techniques and toolkit, as well as a nurturing environment suffused with sounds, allowing individuals to accept themselves in the present moment with heightened awareness. It's within this expanded consciousness that individuals can observe and release past patterns, thereby facilitating profound personal transformation. She's dedicated 2 years to refining her skills and understanding the profound impact of sound on the human psyche and body. In 2016, using sound baths, she created immersive experiences that promote deep relaxation and emotional balance. Recognizing the growing interest and need for sound healing, Priyanka started teaching in 2017, sharing her knowledge and passion with others who seek to harness the transformative power of sound. Her approach is rooted in the belief that each person carries the innate ability to transform their lives, and with her role to provide the guidance and support necessary for this journey of self-discovering and healing. Absolutely amazing, Priyanka. Welcome. Thank you. I believe you're on mute. There you go. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Hina, for introducing me. I joined a little late, but I did get a chance to listen to Vivian, Blessing, and Yemi, and I believe that little that I know and the little that I'm going to share here with everyone is going to be very, very different from everyone else. I'm afraid that I might be off topic, but I'm confident that even though it is off topic, there's a strong belief with which we work. Everything outside us is the reflection of everything inside us. I'm not sure how many of you will agree to anything that I say here, anything that I speak. But the fact that I'm a sound practitioner, I've been taught, I've learned, and it's now a developed habit to continue listening. And here, I actually want to invite each one of you to simply hear me out. And then process everything that you hear, which will automatically translate itself into listening. There is a thin line difference between hearing and listening. When you hear, you simply make note of those sounds around you. And when you listen, you internalize that sound. You understand that sound. You process that sound. You respond and also react to that sound. So the question arises that all the insights and the sharings that we have heard from all the beautiful speakers here, were we hearing them or were we also listening to them? If we were only hearing, then we might as well go back to the recordings of this session and start listening. That's a simple change in the way we use these tiny instruments given to us by God. So while I'm speaking, I would like to invite you all to not just hear, but also listen. And while you're listening to me, please listen to yourself. Very important. So the next question arises, do we really listen to ourselves? Have we learned to listen to ourselves? Just a question that I want to throw out there, and I want each one of you to think about it in this moment. Do we listen to ourselves? Have we learned what listening actually means? Are we active listeners or are we passive listeners? Ask this question to yourself. Why do you think I'm asking this question? And I'll take you through the answers with a little exercise. I want each one of you to participate. It's just a suggestion, it's just a request. Please participate in this experience. And based on this experience, we will exactly understand what it is to listen to our inner voice. And why is it so important to listen to our inner voice? Let's start by focusing on ourselves. Can you, in this moment, visualize yourself? Take a moment and visualize yourself. Simply imagine yourself. And right in front of you, visualize your mother and your father. It's an interesting journey, trust me. Trust me for this moment. I know I'm a stranger, but trust me for this moment. Visualize your mother and visualize your father right in front of you. Behind your parents, visualize your grandparents. Maternal behind your mother, paternal behind your father. You may or may not remember their faces. You can simply give them a figure of your own. So what you're doing right now is, I repeat, you're visualizing yourself. Right in front of you are your parents, and behind your parents are your grandparents. And that's about it. And stay there. And just stay. See if you can continue to visualize this ancestral chain a little farther beyond to around 20, 50, or 70 years ahead. Again, we may not remember any of these faces. We may have not seen any photographs, anything at all. Simply visualize the ancestral chain beyond your grandparents to as many as generations above that you can. Take a deep breath there and stay. Visualize universal consciousness or pran or the chi or the life force passing through this entire ancestral chain into your grandparents. You may visualize it as a white light or a golden light, anything that comes to your mind in this moment. The pran or the chi through the universal consciousness flows through the entire ancestral chain into your grandparents, through your grandparents into your parents, and through your parents into you. You being the receiver of this life force. Open your heart to receive the gift of life that you've received from your parents. And stay there and keep breathing. Remember, the way you breathe is the way you live. And that in which you put in your breath is that which stays alive. the life force through the universal consciousness that flows through the entire ancestral chain into our great grandparents, through our grandparents, into our parents, through our parents, into us. And receive. Open your hearts and receive. Visualize looking into your mother's eyes and tell her, "You are my mother and I am your child. You are my mother and I am your child. You are my mother and I am your child." Look into your father's eyes. Visualize looking into your father's eyes and tell your father, "You are my father and I am your child. You are my father and I am your child. You are my father and I am your child." Bowing down in gratitude to the life that you're living in this moment. It is the same life that you received at the conception. And it is the same life that you've lived through the past till date, till this moment. And it is the same life that you will continue to live after this moment and also into the future. It is the same life that constitutes, that contains it all. Your career, your relationship, your health, your finances, your achievements, your happiness, your sadness, every part of your life. Every little thing is the part of the same life that we receive from our parents. A stable life is that which is connected to our parents. A safe and a secure life is that which is connected to our parents. Acknowledging that I come from that parents, I come from them. Acknowledging their presence in our life. They may be alive, they may have passed the rainbow. The fact that you are living today is the ultimate truth that your life is a blessing. Honor the life that you're living by actually living it. So my next question is, do we accept this life? Are we in rejection of this life? Do we honor the life that we are living? I would love to read your answers in the chat box. Do we honor the life that we are living? Do we accept the life that we are living? Are we in rejection of the life that we are living? And how do we know if I accept my life, if I honor my life, or if I am disconnected to my life? How do we know that? Beautiful answers out there. I honor and accept with gratitude the life that I'm living. And the minute you honor and accept your life, you also accept yourself. And the minute you accept yourself, you automatically are accepting your parents. The only way to honor and accept this life is by honoring and accepting yourself. And the only way to accept yourself is to understand and accept your roots. We're all born into a parental conscience. And this parental conscience is surrounded by a cultural conscience. And as we grow, we mature into a personal conscience. To remind you that none of these conscience are ever conscious. We develop ourselves, we evolve, and we become conscious. Parental conscience always precedes over cultural conscience, and personal conscience always precedes over parental conscience. The shift from this parental conscience into the personal conscience somewhere develops guilt. And it is always a play between this guilt and innocence. Because a parent is trying to teach from his or her own experiences of life, while we as children are trying to learn and receive from our state of awareness, our level of consciousness. Within this, there is acceptance and there is rejection. And each individual goes through this. All that we must realize as adults is that it is important to know that anything that I may have not received in the past, anything that I may have not been blessed with in my past, all my unmet needs can be fulfilled in this present moment because I am an adult and I can parent myself. If I ever felt unloved, can I not love myself? If I ever felt that someone did not buy me a candy when I was 10 years old, is it important for me to live with those regrets, or can I buy a candy for myself today and fulfill my unmet needs? Or am I supposed to get stuck with those emotional unmet needs? What happens in the run is we somewhere forget. We somewhere forget to face our own emotions. We forget to face our own emotional self. Humans are supposed to experience life emotionally, aren't we? Ask yourself. And how many times do we actually give ourselves to acknowledge and feel and face our own emotions? So, am I being honest to myself? Oh, I do talk about honesty. I do talk about having faith and trust in the Almighty. Have I given myself a chance to face my own fears? Yes, Kruti, we can definitely parent ourselves. And unless we parent ourselves, we cannot parent our own children. That's the ultimate truth. And I realized it till I hadn't acknowledged my own unmet needs, till I hadn't faced my fears, till I hadn't worked on my anger. I kept expecting my daughter, who was only 8 or 9 years old at that time, to understand everything that I teach her. Imagine the kind of mother I was. And only when it hit me hard is when, in that moment, through the process of self realization, I realized and dropped it all. I started parenting myself. It was one conscious step towards facing my own limitations. And all of these, the fears, the limitations, um, the underconfidence issues, the anger, the unmet needs, where are these found? These are found on the inside, not on the outside. provided we give ourselves a chance to listen to ourselves. And how can we actually listen to ourselves? The only answer is in silence. One can acknowledge the sound in its absence. And the absence of sound is silence. Now, what does silence actually mean? What am I really talking about? Is this silence the silence in the ambience around me, outside me? Really? I can sit in a forest and can I really feel silent? Amidst nature, can I actually feel silent? I think I'll feel calm and relaxed. But can I feel silent? One can feel silent from within when the chatter here disappears. One can feel silent within when this heartbeat settles and continues to beat on its original rhythm. The idea is to attain silence by bringing or inviting silence by reducing this chatter and by bringing synchronicity between this breath and the heartbeat. How is that possible? Any guesses? How is that possible? By using one of the least utilized and acknowledged instrument, which is our own voice. How many of us have actually learned to use our voice? To not raise our voice. I don't really believe in raising my voice. I don't believe in voicing up. I believe in using my voice wisely. Didn't Yemi just say, speak precisely. Don't talk too much, don't talk too less. One can use his or her voice when he listens to his voice. Do we listen to ourselves? Do we listen to ourselves? We are programmed to listen to the outside, but we are not programmed to listen to what's going on the inside. Start listening to yourself. While I'm talking, I hope each one of you is listening to what's going on inside you. That was my starting statement. Please continue listening to yourself, and any emotion, any thought that is popping up while you're listening to me, you must make a mental note of it or maybe write it down, because that's exactly what your body is trying to tell you. Our body has its own intelligence. It does speak to us, provided we listen to it. I'm going to teach you one more little exercise where you can use your voice to let go of unnecessary chatter, those self-doubts, the self-sabotage, the self-criticism, the unnecessary anger and the anxiety, all of this. I'm going to teach you one very, very simple and a yogic exercise, that which has helped me and many of my clients. And it's a very, very simple thing. It's as simple as this. Take a deep breath in. Listen to the sound of your breath and hum. How do you hum? I'll take a deep breath. And I'll continue to hum till my exhale happens. Till my exhale happens. Humming, humming is one of the most powerful ways to use your voice. There's a research on humming. Let me actually say this. When you hum, the cells around the nostril release or puff nitric oxide, NO, a molecule named nitric oxide. And this nitric oxide is this nitric oxide is a natural painkiller, a neurotransmitter. It reduces inflammation and swelling and aches and pains in the body. The puffing of the nitric oxide is hampered because of the sleep issues, because of the eating disorders, because of the lifestyle stress, overthinking, obesity, etc. But if we can hum, our cells in the body automatically start puffing nitric oxide, which is actually a healing molecule in itself. You can actually Google and read about it. If you read about Brahmari Pranayam, the research on the Brahmari Pranayam, I'll write down in the chat, you will see, you will realize the benefits of simple humming technique. It not only helps us on the mental and the emotional level, but we've had people who've come to us mentioning that how they're sleeping well only and only with humming. So it immensely works on insomnia, on sleeplessness issues. When we sleep well, we wake up fresh. And the minute you wake up fresh, there's clarity in your thoughts. And the more clear you wake up, the more easy it is for you to think about what do you want. And you will be able to listen to yourself clearly, not with the chatter in your head. So 2 exercise, quickly revising it for you. One is humming that we just did. The second one, every day, every single day, look into your father and look into your mother's eyes. Visualize and reconnect with themselves. Reconnect with them to reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with yourself to reconnect with your life. Reconnect with your life to understand yourself emotionally. Understand yourself emotionally because everything that you're trying to achieve outside you is the reflection of everything that is inside you. If you're trying to go there, put yourself out there for an interview, to get a job, or to decide the next career path, or maybe you want to change a path, unless you know who you are and what exactly is there, you will not be able to achieve that. Now, suppose if I even know that I want to become a sound practitioner, all right? I know that I want to become a sound practitioner, but if at all I am feeling insecure inside by looking at Kruti, who is also a sound practitioner, for example, then am I manifesting sound practicing for myself or am I manifesting insecurity? And if you're not nearby your parents, doesn't matter. You don't need that physical touch. Everything outside you, everything that is physical is first on an energetic level. You don't have to have your parents right in front of you. You need to have them in your heart, give them a place in your heart. And as simple as this, acknowledge the fact that you have been gifted with a life and the same life that they received from their parents. And as simple as this. And then there is silence like this. I hope the sound of my voice helped create some silence in people's heads at this moment. And there I conclude. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Priyanka, I'm at a loss for words. I must say that was not only powerful, it was also very emotional. And yes, your voice certainly added to that in enhancing what you were saying and enhancing that piece and stress. No, that's the wrong word. Encouraging and enlightening us about that self-awareness and the difference between hearing and listening. I hope you'll forgive me. I didn't want to stop you. So I just wanted to let you finish what you were doing. So I'm not going to ask questions because I think you were kind enough to carry on when answering the questions, but I think what you were saying had more of an impact than anything I could have asked. So thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And what a note to round off 2 days of just everything to help not only women, but men get back to work after a career break, and maybe a lot more. I think what you touched on is just life skills, isn't it? It's a life skill. Take that time, take a step back, understand where you are from, understand what you are about. And you said at the start, it's very different and may not link into what we are talking about. I would like to respectfully say, I think it links in entirely to what we are talking about. What you have said enables us to take charge of ourselves and understand where we are, build that confidence in us, and then I think take that out into the world. So thank you again, Priyanka. Big round of applause for Priyanka. Thank you so much.